Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, we'd like to thank Optimum Engineering for sponsoring the video. Optimum Engineering is a company that offers building and consulting services. For more information, to contact Saki Shakalela on 081 467 88.
Our piece is shiny.
Enjoy the video.
Yeah? Alright, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another special episode of the No Cap podcast. Today we have a friend in the studio, a very close friend of mine. The funny thing is I put together a gevaarlijke intro that I wrote, and he responded on our Instagram page like, hey, you guys have a boss. You even described me way better than I can describe myself. Now the worst part is I don't have the intro anymore and I didn't memorize it. But yeah, our guest today, he's a brother, he's a friend, he's a doctor, he's a public speaker, a retired RockStar. We'll get into that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Joe Jr.
Thanks, man.
Welcome to the podcast. Man. Welcome to the podcast.
Long overdue.
Long overdue.
First podcast, so.
Ne? Wait, shout out. Easy. Yeah. So, like, the whole idea of me bringing you onto the podcast, it's just, I mean, obviously, knowing you and seeing how you've really transformed your life in recent days and especially this year. I feel like it's something that it's worth mentioning, and also I feel like you've dealt with a few struggles and whatnot that maybe someone who views the podcast can watch and then obviously get. But then let's pause that and then get into it. So first, let's start. Tell me about yourself, like, you know, where you grew up, your siblings and your family. And
I was born in a small village, Nashiku.
You're a village boy? You lie, bro. Kev.
I'm not quite a village boy.
Okay.
I was shipped out first thing.
Okay.
I was 6. I was sent to Ventu.
That makes sense. You're a city boy, bro.
I'm a city boy for life. Yeah. So very simple family. Mother and father were both in the education sector. Dad was a school principal. Mom was also a teacher. Both retired. Second of 4. Yeah. So we're quite a very simple family that sort of believes in, you know, education and exposure, and that's why they had to shut me off. So I actually grew up here in Ventu and in Rundu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So primary school, were you at that side of the north, or is it where you in Ventu?
I was in Ventu. St. Andrews Primary School.
Okay, St. Andrews. Okay. And then high school?
High school I was in Rundu. Kavango, St. Boniface College. Yeah, I was sent there. Better education, you know.
But tell me though, like, even the time I was in high school, we'd always hear like, St. Boniface is such a great school. But okay, it's not even hearing. When the results come out, you can see like you guys, and also like a lot of you guys, when you come back from there, it's like you guys become engineers, doctors, scientists, you know. There were always rumors, man. Like, you guys get fed the exam.
Yeah.
Is it true though?
No. I can attest to that. It's obviously it's the culture we've developed this in the black community. When you're doing good, obviously they have to create some form of rumor to justify why you're doing good, and not actually approach you and ask you why you're doing good and learn from
and
you.
How exactly.
So those rumors were not true. If anything, there was very enforced discipline, and also a lot of hard work, and we had a very strict school principal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that enforced discipline and dedication and hard work. We had no time. We have no time for sports. That's why if you look, you've never seen St. Boniface participating in any leisure activity.
Actually, now that I think about it, right?
So that's all we did. So imagine if that's all we do, how will the results be?
So
Obviously.
Okay, cool. Off topic here. You guys weren't getting any hands back then in high school.
Man. The rule was you had to stay 1 meter away from the opposite sex.
You lie.
There are no cousins. Military. Yeah. So it's like a military school, man.
So even in class?
Yeah, even in class we were separated. Girls sit on one side, boys sit on one side. There are no cousins, so you can't claim to have your cousins and you need to hug them or whatever. Damn. You know, it was even difficult to hug your own sister.
So you didn't have a girlfriend in high school?
I mean,
Hey, Brian's gonna make a way. Brian's gonna make a way.
I had the loopholes.
You had the loopholes.
The loopholes are there. You
Yeah.
date within your class. You don't get caught.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I did.
Cool. So then you moved back to Windhoek.
Yeah.
To study medicine.
Yes.
What prompted you to say like, did you know already in high school you're gonna become a doctor? Or
I think it's always something that I've wanted to do. I couldn't think of anything else.
Okay.
I've always been interested in the human body and how it functions, and how this God's creation came about, and how everything connects, and why we are who we are, and everything that goes along with human biology. It's always been an interest for me. So when I applied, I didn't even apply. I was given opportunities, scholarships, to go and study other stuff. But it's what I wanted to do. Like, there was no second choice. Even on my application, they saw that there was no second option.
It's this or nothing.
It's like, that's what I said in the interview. That's all I want to do. Yeah.
Okay, so how was the transformation? You coming from a school where it's very strict, stay 1 meter away from the hands, to an institution where you are regarded as an adult, you can do pretty much whatever you want. And I know for a fact, you guys from the School of Meds are wild. and I think it's, this now, I'm making an assumption here. The fact that you guys are so educated in when it comes to the human body and how it operates, you don't look at certain things the way we do, it's not that big of a deal. So you guys are so wild. So how is the transformation now, coming from that strict environment to?
I won't lie to you, it was difficult, because remember what I said, that side, the discipline is enforced.
Okay.
When you switch over to this side, it's almost like, if you haven't picked up the principles by yourself, that side, you just go wild, absolutely wild, and there's no insulation or anything from outside troubles or whatever.
Yeah.
So hence why a lot of guys from there do come here and then go wild, in layman's term. But it's because of that discipline that was enforced. And then you come here now, there's no one to tell you, listen, you need to pick up your books. You need to not do this, You need not to indulge in this detrimental stuff, You are on your own, basically. And you're not used to making decisions on your own, because decisions were made for you.
You always have someone looking over you when you fuck up there, like, hey, do this and whatnot.
So for us, I think, for me, it was a bit challenging, but we always maintained a certain group where we're like, yo, how are you doing? Are you keeping up, Obviously, as the year go on, you start to be introduced to you come and meet guys from other schools, and you get introduced to their behavior and their way of doing things, and But,
so, like, what was the? Okay, two things. How was scoping? Because, like, I know for a fact, being in medicine school is very difficult, and the pressure that you guys have to cope with, and also now, you have this new freedom. How are you coping with your studies, and how did you find that,
Yeah, I think initially it was like, okay, sports, study and, engage people, and, we were first finding our feet, but eventually when the work became a lot, you start increasing your leisure activities, and,
Of course.
there's not so much you can do to cope,
Yeah.
That's how we started partying and all of the stuff. But mostly sports. For the better half of the medical school, it was mostly sports. What else? I don't know. I'm thinking way back. What did we actually do besides partying?
I was about. What's like the wildest I don't know, experience outside now your studies and whatever while you're at varsity? Like, were you guys were you in the hostel, or were you?
I was in the hostel.
In the hostel. Are you guys having like wild parties, like anything you know?
Every other time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
School of Meds, bro. School of Meds.
That was the spot, I think it comes with, being flooded with so much, and your mind is constantly on overdrive, and you're constantly playing back certain scenarios you're exposed to in clinical settings, and You just want to sort of quiet the voice. That's why we indulge in so many activities. Yeah. But the other coping, I wouldn't really call it a coping mechanism, but it's always not forgetting where you're from and why you're doing what you're doing. Because as much as you come here and you meet people of different social classes and different ways of having fun and doing whatever you have to do, we from the north particularly still know our parents are still there, fighting hard, you know,
Yeah.
to get us through. So as long as you keep it keeps you in check at times, knowing where you're from. So yeah.
And it's a good thing you say that. I mean, I'm just thinking, I was in the north a few days ago, and I had this hard realization where it's very important to reflect back and just think like, look, this is where I'm from, this is where I'm trying to go. Because sometimes, like, when you, especially in the city life, you get different friends and whatever, and some people come from good lifestyles,
Exactly.
and some people have enough leg room to fuck up because they have something to fall back on,
Yeah.
and then you get lost in that type of whatever they're doing. But then when you fuck up, it's pretty much game over for you.
You don't have a cushion to fall on. That's the thing.
That's the
And
thing.
then you don't really see it. That's the problem.
Yep.
You have this straight path that you came with. That's your plan. It's you and that degree and a job and take care of your family. But you get derailed slowly and slowly. And next thing you know, you're headed down a path you can't even recognize.
So cool. After varsity, now you start doing internship, right? Where were you doing your internship?
Here in Windhoek.
What?
Were
Were you moving around
state.
or one specific hospital?
Both state hospitals. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
It's
rotate in
central
between
and
the two.
Victoria. Okay. But now this is the time of your face, ne? When I started getting to know you. And
Yeah.
bro, you were a wild brother. Jeez. When I say wild, ne, there was never a time, ne, and it might sound like I'm exaggerating, ne, that I would go out anywhere without running to you. It's like you at every sport, every time. Doesn't matter what day of the week, you were outside. Like how? Okay, first of all, I two questions actually. Yeah? One, what were you going through? And two, how were you coping? Because like, I mean, I can just assume the pressure you were getting at your internship job.
Yeah.
And you having to be outside all the time. Like there was a lot. I mean, like you were the life of the party, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's how do you call it? I was on both extremes.
Okay.
Academic and obviously the RockStar lifestyle. So I think in medical school we have this triad: sleep, rock, and academics.
Yeah.
You may only have two. So somewhere it has to suffer. So I didn't sleep much, and obviously I told you that we are exposed to so much so early and sometimes unexpected, and you don't prepare for certain scenarios. You don't prepare to see as many dead people per se, and obviously that always runs through your mind. And as much as there are places available for you to go and talk and whatever, as black male, we are naturally inclined to choose the other alternative, which is just bottle it up, but eventually there's no more space in the bottle. I think, and that's why you start this. And I speak for the masses. There are a lot of guys that sort of choose this a similar coping mechanism, and obviously we all know how that ends. Eventually it does affect certain aspects of your life. But it was a great time. I learned a great deal, and luckily for me, it didn't really affect how I work per se. It was more affecting my social function in interpersonal relationships. So it wasn't really affecting my work per se.
So during the time, were you single or were you in a relationship?
For most of the part, I was single.
Yeah, you're living your best life.
I think that's also where guys in relationships have a sense of accountability.
Yeah.
So if you're going wild, there are really no repercussions to your actions. There's no there's no one that will be checking you like, hey, bro, you need to slow down.
down.
Maybe you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, yes. And then obviously the other part I was involved in, as you can guess,
Yeah.
these relationships.
That
Yeah.
here and there,
It
and
took-
it doesn't.
yeah, it doesn't fit in. The whole scenario wouldn't fit in, and people become collateral damage because of your actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's big. And I'm getting a sense of accountability coming from your side, ne? Where you're speaking about like you are living in this world of yours now because of obviously what you're going through and whatnot. And here you meet a few people, and you are not really considering how you hurt them or whatever, and you just keep moving and whatever. But
Yeah.
the fact that you are somewhat talking about it shows that like there's some sort of change coming from your side
Yeah.
based on the experience. But tell me also something that people don't really talk about, ne? Like especially I'm looking at students who want to become doctors or whatever.
Yeah.
We assume that obviously people know, but you don't really hard think about it to say lives can be lost. You're going to
Yeah.
see dead people, whatever. When you think about I'm going to be a doctor, it's saving lives.
Yeah.
So like, what was your first time when you accounted, losing a patient, and how did that make you feel? And did this like happen more than once for it to bottle up and get you to the stage where you were like, shit, I need to be out after work. I need to be outside, so I just need a
Yeah.
breather.
Yeah, I think my first encounter was in medical school. Obviously, you still remember the face. Initially, your first encounter with that.
Are these like the cadavers they have at the?
No, that it's. I mean, it's a first experience, but it's not as
Oh, okay.
deep because it's remember this is a preserved human body.
right, yeah.
It doesn't have the same feel as
Okay.
as me seeing you now, and all of a sudden, and then he's gone. So my first encounter with that was a bit, everyone goes through this stage. Your initial encounter takes a while to get over, probably like 2-3 weeks to a month. You keep replaying the scenario, thinking about it, and then as the more you're exposed to, the lesser the duration. And also the job doesn't give you that space to sort of like go think about it, because at the end of the day, this person is now passed. And the next person just came to see you for help.
And
Do you understand?
And you're still trying to just get over the fact that I just lost someone now.
No. You just have to continue.
Keep it pushing
and start over with a different energy. Like, hi, Mr. Nani, how are you? How can I help you?
It's a wild
Because
decision,
mind
now
you,
that put
these
it like
two
that.
these two people are both came. Okay, he is gone now, but you also came in distress.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can translate this scenario onto you. So yeah, I think the more encounters you have, the lesser the duration you think about it. Eventually, it doesn't even take a minute. Someone passes, you go in your corner, and then you're out, and the job continues. So you see how how that can really mess you
I
up.
can just imagine.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool. So at what point do you realize, that shit, this is becoming a little too much, and that's like now the chills, the wild parties, living on the edge, and going out like. I mean, you basically said you had no sleep, because I know I would see you like on a Monday, out chilling, and then I'll probably go home and I'll leave you there, and then when we talk, you're like, tomorrow I have to be at work, and you will still go to work, and after work the following day, you know.
because with us, weekends don't really exist.
Yeah.
So if you are working that weekend, that's basically Monday is your.
It makes sense. When you put it
So
like
yeah, but the point where I really saw that, okay, you know what, maybe this is becoming a bit too much.
Yeah.
As I said, it usually it becomes a problem when it affects 3 domains of your life.
Yeah.
Your social function, how are you socially? Are you doing socially acceptable things? Are you acting wild beyond what is considered normal? Those type of guys on tables and falling around and shouting and violence. Interpersonal relationships. How is your relationships with your siblings, your friends? Are they affected by you know, living this type of lifestyle. And then the last domain, which is obviously the most important one, your occupational functioning. You know how people have chronic absenteeism and being sick all the time. So for me, once it affected my social functioning,
Okay.
my interpersonal relationships. Obviously, at the time, people I consider close were distancing themselves, and you find yourself, you know, with strangers. In at that point, you're like, you know, but the people closest to you have sort of like neglected you, and you can't really blame them if they don't endorse your behavior, you know. And I could feel it was gonna start affecting my occupational function, you know. It starts with just coming even 5-10 minutes late, you know. And that's when I decided, you know what, I don't think it's worth it, you know, because you look around, you're like, now you're on your own. The people closest to you in the day, you're surrounded by a bunch of strangers. You look in the mirror and you don't even recognize that little guy from the north who came here to make a better life.
That's what
you know.
That's what I call getting lost in the Windic sauce.
Yes, that you get in the sauce, you lose your flavor. So I think that's the time where I decided to pull the plug. I was like, maybe, you know, this is not for me. Maybe it's enough now. And obviously, you start finding better coping mechanisms. You know, seeking therapy, which we shy away from.
Especially black men, eh? I feel like our black women are getting into it, but as men, just seeking therapy to us is still like as a myth. It's
I feel like just being born a black male is already a basis for therapy, and it doesn't have to be anything wrong for you to actually go see a therapist, and that's the notion. Because sometimes it's just, and I think that was also a problem for me. I didn't understand who I was also. So besides now the work stuff and the stress and all of that, there was also you battling your sort of identity. Who am I? What do I stand for? Why am I doing this? Is this really what I want to do? You know, and then also, you know, seeking validation and acceptance and approval. And obviously with me, I think moving around so much, it was I think I was in constant need for validation and approval, you know. And that's how my social media grew like that. And that's why, you know, I'm in everywhere, academic, sports, entertainment. I think it was sort of me trying to seek approval and acceptance, because I don't get it, because my parents are in the north, and now you're raised by sort of family members, but they're not obviously gonna hug you and give you props for doing certain things. So I was in constant need for approval, and I think with that, when you don't get that approval, it brings a certain anxiety in you, you know, and you get a bit depressed because, you know, you feel like you're entitled to certain things. And I feel like that identity crisis also plays a role, and that's why I went in there. So I feel when I started to question certain things and trying to sort of figure out who I am, it's also helped me like make a U-turn and shift the direction. So yeah,
it's deep, man. And you said something. There was a time when, you know, the people closest to you were shifting away. Because like I remember, I would go out and I would see you with like some random people, you know, and then like the bras that I know are your bras are not around. Also because I'm guessing they obviously can't go out every day. And shit.
But mind you, it's not only them shifting away. I'm also pulling away, because you start to feel like, shoot, I don't want my bra to see me in that light, you know. This person has been watching you. Now they have to see you in that light. You don't want to see them. So you also start shifting away, and as the gap increases, a lot of people are able to come in there and fill in those gaps, you know.
It's crazy.
It's like you don't have a compass, so everyone else determines your direction.
Cool. Now, I want us to shift a bit, man. Just a general question. Have you ever at any point in your life got into a fight because you were trying to stand by a bra of yours or whatever?
I think my friends are naturally not guys that look for trouble, but I did. So
there was a time you guys got murdered by you guys got murdered by a rugby player. By people. You and Joe.
Oh man, I remember that day.
How did I go about?
Oh, so we pull up at a service station.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good night. We're
Yeah.
like, let's get food.
Let's get food.
You know,
Munchies.
me,
Uh-huh.
I don't look for trouble. I just try to have fun.
Yeah.
So one of my friends, I won't mention his name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Joe.
Okay.
So he comes out of a car and he makes he says something very provoking.
Yeah.
But it wasn't directed towards anyone.
Anyone,
It's just
just-
one of those,
Yeah.
you know, wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yep.
And there happens to be
At
a
the wrong place
lady
in this case, I guess.
passing,
Yeah.
you know, passing and going into the service. And she thought it was her.
Oh.
Oh man. She didn't even say anything. She just turned around, excuse me, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Did you say that to me? Then my bride's now like, hey, bro, like relax. This guy, the lady's boyfriend, didn't even think twice. He just came storming.
Oh yeah.
Storming. And so we were four. The guy who said it was on this and the left rear.
Yeah.
You know, I was on the right rear. So the guy on the right front passenger seat, he stormed to him. He didn't say anything. He didn't even know what was going on. He just grabbed him. What are you saying to my girlfriend?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo. So Joe comes to try and stop, like to explain, like, no,
Yes.
there's nothing to do with you guys. They pushed him. I'm like, hell nah. That's my day one.
That's not on
Nah.
my watch.
I was like, we are former, so it's like,
Okay, let's take this guy out.
And that's the most confusing thing about being in a sort of a mob setting. You feel like you're power.
Yeah, we're power. Uh-huh.
He shoved my friend, fell over. I go there, he shoved me, fell over. Pushed my friend, came here, tiger here. Hey bro, it was one guy.
One guy. So actually,
The guy who said it, he's chilling. I'm looking at him like, look, this is not even our fight.
Yeah.
You know?
You started this. You know, the whole time, when I heard this, I thought it was just like the two of you, like you and Joe.
Yeah.
So I guess it was 4 against 1.
4.
And now
but that's the thing. So one guy, one of his brothers came, he's like, lost net, like, leave them, it's fine, you know, there's not, whatever. So at the time, when he came, I don't know what happened, the guy started again. Then the security guards wanted to pepper spray us. So while I was on the floor, the guy pulled out his thing, headed to me. At that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm not going to be proud and happy. I played my race card. I was like, my guy, is it because you're black? Because what other... aren't we all fighting? Why... People spraying us, bro. You can see who's clearly winning.
Exactly.
Put him down.
Yes, you can see who's delivering the ass whooping here.
Put the guy down.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. Is it because you're black?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, ish, sure. Okay,
Sure,
nah.
yeah.
It's like, you know what? Then the friend came, stopped the whole thing. Yeah, we thought it was cool.
That's mad.
We went inside to get the food. We look outside. Yo, there's just a bunch of guys in shorts. Rugby players.
It could have gotten worse.
Now it's like, hey, gents, how are we getting out? This guy comes in the store, goes buys an energy drink, leather jacket and some rugby shorts. I don't know. That for me, that was already scary. It was bold.
Yep.
He had like an eagle tattoo. Everything was playing against us, bro. I don't know. There was no more. I played my extreme card.
Also, the thing is this, if this one guy deals with you guys,
imagine
now
the
there's
whole
squad
team
in there.
You know, so everyone is quiet. No one wants to eat anymore. Now my brother,
sit down.
Now my brother who started the fight is like, oh, I'm like, this guy. I'm like, my guy, I know.
We are in this predicament
because of you and you were chilling. And we walked out, got into the car, drove off as fast as we can. You know, I don't know. I think Chicken still has that footage. They're probably just waiting for me to become like someone prominent to release that footage. You know how people play you, right?
Yeah.
They're like, let's go on that podcast. How did he say again? I thought you said this.
That's crazy, no?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, what is this? In the intro, I wanted to say this, but then I was like, let me leave it for this part of the interview. Sorry, should we pause? Are we rolling? Michael. So I wanted to leave it for this part. Like the first time you and I actually met me. So I don't remember what year it was. But also I used to throw these mad parties back in the day. In the
I
hood and
remember
whatnot.
that day. I think it was
And
2019, 2020.
yeah, cool. So now I threw this party back in the hood and I invited Joe, the other Joe now. And then at the time, me and my partner just started seeing each other. But it was like very rocky, man. Like I mean, it was like a tricky situation in the sense of how her and I ended up being together. Because like I don't want to like get too much into details about it, but like I had a long crush on her and she kind of wasn't feeling me and whatnot, and and I tried so much to the point when we started when we were together, I couldn't believe the fact that I'm actually with the person I've always wanted in my life, So I didn't realize the pressure that came with, because I was at a point where, look, I like this girl, she's probably gonna like me back if I put in enough work and whatever, and it always worked. And I got to a point where I like this person and they don't like me back, and I don't understand why they don't like me. So then when I started dating them, it brought so much insecurity like towards me and the whole relationship and how it was going at the time. So I don't remember what happened exactly, but so like we were all drinking and whatnot. And I'm not trying to blame the alcohol, because I clearly remember the story to a certain degree. And I see you talking to my girl, bro. And I just fucking lost it.
Snapped, bro.
I lost it. I don't remember the details, but all I'm like, I don't know. Is this little voice? Like taking people's girls and what? It's not happening. And now the thing is also like also I'm not like a violent person. I don't like strays and whatever. I consider myself to be a lover, man. I don't like even in that situation where you guys were getting moved by the Buddha. I probably would have tried to stop the fight. I only fight when I totally know I have no. So then I'm all up there and we get in this huge argument and the whole party comes to a standstill. People are looking at us.
It's just me and you there.
And you had this bra of yours. I don't remember his name, but if I see him, a huge guy, man. It's like,
I roll with goons.
It's not gonna happen. Like, we're not gonna get dragged by this guy. Even if, and I'm like, but do you know this is my house? And it's also the thing, man. And that's the thing you say about when you guys are in a squad and whatnot.
Yeah, that whole mob.
I'm like, there's
mentality.
What are these guys trying to do now? Because like your brand, I was like, what is he trying to do? Because this is like, we are in my hood.
This is my street.
This is my street.
You woke up the whole street.
All my boys are here. If this fight breaks up, man, we're going to kick ass. And fuck, man, it just went on and on.
But there's a detail that you sort of didn't catch a glimpse of. Yeah, because you called your brass to come and sort of, like what's going on. But your brass actually knew me.
Oh, shit.
So they were like, bro, we're gonna talk to you like this, but just bounce. Just bounce for the whole thing to die down. But you know what I actually appreciate about that scenario, is how big of a man you are. And not a lot of us young black guys can actually go. Like for me and you to sit like this and actually be brass means it took something big from us to go and actually, we are the bigger men. We're like, you know what? That whole thing was sort of a misunderstanding. Because I remember you found me in Ungwediva
in the north,
and you pulled me to the side. When you came in, I was like, damn, I got 3 guys with me. This guy has like 5 guys. So I'm doing the math. I'm like, should I call up some people? Because it's about to go down. But you actually pulled me to the side. You're like, hey, my guy, I think I had the wrong picture about you. I asked around and like, you're not that guy. And I think I was also in my own. They explained the whole scenario to me and I was like, you know what? I respect this guy. I respect
and also, like,
this guy so much.
I think at that point already, I acknowledged the fact that I was wrong and I apologized and I said that. Squash the beef. I had a cooler box with
you like,
whatever.
That's your bottle there. I was like,
and have a good time.
Let's go. And from there on, it's just been pure vibes.
Here we are. Yeah. As black men, we already go through so much. We shouldn't be fighting each other.
There's just no way, man.
But again, it's very important to sometimes acknowledge that you were on the wrong. Alright, cool. So then we met in the north and we chilled and we squashed our beef. And ever since then, we've been homies, man.
Pure vibes, bro.
Yeah, pure vibes.
Shout out to that.
Easy. Like, and it's good. and also sometimes it's
You know what the funny thing is?
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of scenarios that you've gotten me out of. Now imagine what we can do for each other as black guys. Instead of all this, imagine if we had continued the beef.
Unnecessary, like American rappers. There's no need for all that nonsense. Nah, man. But so fast forward, name. You decided to quit alcohol.
Yeah.
So we met New Year's, and I was fighting hangover because the New Year's Eve was wild. And then that New Year's we chilled, and that I decided also I'm going on a break, which I tried to push. I pushed and go for 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months somewhere.
It's
PK exposed me on the podcast because I said 4 months, but in between there I had a birthday party and I was forced to drink and he snitched on me. But anyway, it's cool. But you've been sober since last time we hung out. We were at the Loft, I think.
Yeah.
And me and my brother Joe were
You were down here.
going with SS. Yeah, that guy's a problem also. He must come on the podcast. Yeah. But anyways, so why did you decide to quit totally? And how have you been holding on for so long? Because bro, you've been sober.
Yeah, it's probably what
Throughout temptation. I mean, you didn't stop.
476 days to be specific.
You didn't even stop going out. I mean, you don't go out as much, but when you do go out, you are out, but you are on your energy drink, you're drinking water.
Yeah.
So, why did you decide to stop totally, and what's been keeping you your sobriety?
Backstory, all the stuff that I told you, but then you start to identify certain problems in certain domains of your life, whether it's the interpersonal relationships, finances, social functions, your social function, how you are as a person. You lose your values, your principles, what you stand for, and there's one common denominator. Everything boils back
The booze.
to alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote off 2 cars. Who does? Yeah, so the common denominator was obvious, that thing is not meant for me. I'm not against people drinking and having fun. It's just not for me. I don't like what it does to me. I don't like who it makes me become. So the common denominator has to go. There's no way we can be enslaved by liquid, man. I was like, I find it hard to. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Liquid. Like, I can literally say no.
There are no chains. It's just
but it's unfortunately it's not as easy as saying no.
I know.
I'm telling you. So it's a very long, lonely, and painful road, especially the first 3 months.
Yeah.
I had to totally disappear, like totally.
Yeah, you were off the grid.
No one could find me.
You were off the grid. I mean,
So
I would go to Jokers, which is like the number
spot.
one place I'll find you, but you're off the grid.
I disappeared totally. Changed numbers, went off social media. It's just me and my thoughts and just being grounded. Just trying to establish. First, you're trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Because mind you, that life, spiritually, you are just dead. There's nothing inside. So that's already, you become susceptible to so many things that can come into your life. Everything is just, let's go. So I had to spiritually find myself. I had to sort of do a lot of self-introspection. Who am I and what do I stand for? I had to make a lot of changes, reevaluate my relationships with people, certain friendships. I had to basically just come back to zero, establish routines,
Deep, man.
discipline into my life, and really get back to the person I was, the guy that just enjoys, the weather, the beauty, the small things in
Small
life,
things in life, the simple
things
things
that
in
you
life, yeah.
overlook because you're just constantly within the madness.
Yeah.
So it was difficult, especially the first 3 months. I didn't go out. I didn't go in. It's just me and my thoughts.
Yeah.
Really writing it down, taking inventory of things that I've done,
Yeah.
people that I've wronged, and list of relationships that I have, the ones that are relevant, how they contribute to my life, and the ones that need to go. Unfortunately, certain people need to go.
Yeah.
Certain scenarios need to go. So after that, obviously you start easing into it, and I felt, okay, now I'm strong enough to say, because my whole thing wasn't going on a break or stopping for a while or running from it. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Alcohol is like water, is everywhere. You can't decide, look, I'm gonna run away from this.
Really,
it's gonna come to your house, and then what? House party,
Mm-hmm.
weddings, My whole focus was on building the willpower to say no. I don't want.
And well, let me ask, did you in that 3 months find yourself? Did you find the answers you were looking for to the questions that you know?
I found most. Obviously, you can't find everything, but I found most of the answers. I was able to return to myself, and you realize you're capable of so much more. Because imagine the things that you do while you're drinking, and you still, do this crazy. That's how you know me most. This guy still does this, does this, despite. Now remove the despite, and you'll see how the full-blown potential. That's why it's so addictive. Now I'm just like, it keeps you going. You're like, man, I can do more. I have more time, more freedom. My mind is stretched. What is a blue Monday? What is that? It's a beautiful Monday.
And also, like, sorry to cut you, that you have this commitment I've seen towards working out, fitness, the gym. I see you posting this day out of 73. I don't know what that means. And also, like, is it 73 days that you're working out straight, or I don't know. What's the 73 actually?
It's a consistency challenge that I'm doing with working out.
Okay.
73 was like a random number.
Oh,
and everyone's doing 60, 70. I just want
I'm
you
different,
to ask
man.
guys like 73 for no reason.
Yeah.
It's almost like 70 plus 3 days just because I can.
Yeah, just because I can.
So I think that's why I said you always go back to the things that bring you fulfillment. And with exercising and working out, you establish certain routine, discipline, and there are just certain things you don't feel when you're working out.
Yeah.
Tell me, sir, you work out, right? When you are not lazy.
I haven't. I don't want to keep on the podcast, but yeah.
But when you're lifting, do you feel sad?
No.
Do you feel any anxiety?
No.
Do you feel any form of
And I feel
depression?
like,
you don't feel anything but that.
The gym is like one of the best places. Like I suffer from anxiety from time to time. Like, but when I'm in the gym, it's like all those things go away. And my stress, and as long as I have my music and it's bumping, I'm lost in the sauce.
And it becomes very, because I lost a mad weight when I was 63 kgs. Just RockStar life, you don't even eat. It's like, okay, let's go to work now, and I've been able to get it back. But mostly what I wanted was the discipline, and it translates into other areas of your life because you have so much energy. And with every accomplishment, it sort of just translates into your life. Like, look, I set this goal, I achieved it. Then you can set another goal in your workspace, in your whatever financial goals. It translates in every aspect of your life. And just that discipline and consistency, it keeps you working towards something, And obviously, I still go out, but imagine I come from the gym at 9, 10, take a shower, go out at 11. By the time I come out, it's like, okay, hi guys. And I'm back.
Do you go to the gym every day?
Like
in a week, how many times?
5 to 6 times.
5 to 6 times
week,
a week.
Yeah.
That's mad crazy.
It is, yeah.
A commitment is. Hook me up, man. Hook me up with the commitment.
Pull up, man. Pull up. It's painful.
Nah.
It's painful because on most days you really don't want to show up.
But
and that's partly the reason why I put it online.
Yeah.
It's to hold myself accountable. And I'm a very strong-minded guy. Like, I'm not gonna let these homies check me like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up. Even if I'm limping, even if I'm sick, I show up. And imagine what that does in your real life now. You showing up despite
every time.
Half of the time you don't feel like going to the gym, but you show up. What will that do to you in a job that you really don't like? You do what you have to do until you get to where you want to get. So, yeah.
Cool. Moving on, I'm taking you back. You had a golf and you wrote it off. Like, you still do. You were drag racing, right?
Damn, you're exposing me, bro. Yeah. Wait, it wasn't a planned drag race.
Yeah.
You know how guys are, and
Yeah.
shit talking and stuff.
So we're like, got this new Polo GTI.
Full of the Polo 6, Polo 7 GTI. I'm like, let's go 5 is gonna smoke you.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually the one that provoked him.
Oh my goodness.
I went next to him. I started reffing.
Yeah.
I rolled down my window.
That's how it starts.
I hit him with a Van Diesel.
Yeah. I hit him with a Van Diesel. Yeah.
As soon as the lights turned green, we go at it.
Yes.
Yo, the rest was history. Next thing I know, I'm coming out of my car laughing. I was like, what happened? I was in disbelief. You know?
And the only thing you could do is
I
laugh.
disbelief. I towed the car home. Next morning, I'm like, go to the garage, hoping it was a bad dream.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, come on, man.
Shit.
And at the time, I was like, I just graduated.
Yeah.
I was like, come, I fought so hard to get
Get this
this.
car.
Now, how will I
Nuts.
get it,
Yes.
That was the second time.
I
Because I was an 8 years,
I
man.
do want to ask you. The first one.
Yeah, but it's
Were you,
just
were you drag racing on in 8 years?
I know, me.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's not me.
It's not even
Okay.
enough horsepower.
If you want this Van Diesel, doesn't matter what whip, you're going to get
I won't
smoked.
lie to you. If I had an 8 years and you have like a Ford, what is this? What is this Honda Fits? I'm
Yeah.
gonna smoke you. Smoke you. But yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah.
So both times you were under the influence.
Funny thing, no. But I was headed to get influence.
That's crazy.
And I'm glad it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Because you'd never know how it would have ended.
Yeah, no, true.
Guys probably would have me on a t-shirt or something.
Shit, I don't even want to think about that shit.
That's
man.
dark.
Yeah, I want to think about that dark shit. But
Yeah.
cool. So we have a lot of viewers, me.
Yeah.
And some of them are female. Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot of viewers that watch the podcast, and some of them are female.
Yeah.
And they want to know now if my homie is homie's a doctor, he's very smart, he's intelligent, he's commitment, and I was just saying, like, I'm so impressed by your level of commitment. I mean, towards everything, like the change you've made in your life, and the fact that you are really sticking to it. Because like a lot of us, man, we will at some point have some self-realization and say, shit, I need to do this and do this, and then you do it for a good week, 2 weeks, and whatever, and then you are back to your old self. I mean, classic example of me in the gym. I will be committed. As soon as I travel with work and I come back, I use that as an excuse, like, I've been away from the gym for too long. Now it's difficult to.
No, but once you find someone that truly values you for who you are, like who you are as a person, not irregardless of your past mistakes and your what you have, but your core values as a person. You must hurry up, my brother. Run to American Swiss. So hey man, there's just no way. When they come, surprisingly they come in your life at just at the right moment. I was like, I was still confused, trying to find my feet. What do I do now? I have to push every day, what, and then all of a sudden there they are. So
it's good to hear, man. But you see, now you have this Instagram following that you've built, I mean, from your past life, whatever, which hasn't gone away. And I sometimes see you would post this asking a question or whatever, which is normally not, you're not, the questions that you want to be asked are not the ones you're getting. As just Hans.
Man,
you are very handsome. What I like you. What? How do you handle that shit?
I think before when you're single, you just sort of play it and you entertain it and whatever. Yeah. But now, I feel like when you get involved, there's certain boundaries. Of course, you discuss with your person, like, look, you understand that I've attained this level of popularity and people are always gonna try and people are always gonna, do certain things, but most where you stand, who I am and where I'm at, transparency.
Don't be shaken. Don't be shaken by the streets.
Yeah, you just play it off, because humans are very bad people, man. Yeah. Humans, you don't ever know anyone's intention. You spawn a certain way, screenshot. Look at your man, So I think for most parts I've been quiet, I don't respond to certain advances, always transparent, something funny happens, you're like, go to your person, like, hey, yo, check this out, so that even if you come, like, look at you, it's like, nah,
saw that
we
already.
know,
We know.
yeah. So, yeah, but it's, the one thing I did with my past relationship,
Yeah.
it's putting it out there for the world and allowing them to enter that space of yours, because once you put it out there, you give them room to
vultures are
tell you
coming.
how to live and how you're supposed to love your person, what you're supposed to gift them at what time.
You're not doing enough.
And then they give you all these titles. Yeah, cutest couple, Namibia's hottest couple, what. And then you didn't give yourself those titles. And as soon as you drop,
Now you must
now you must live up to those titles.
this hype,
They thought they were Namibia's. I didn't say that. You said that under the comments. They thought they were the hottest couple. Is that what your man's got you? Like, and that's a
and
mistake
you
I
guys
did.
break up and like, they thought they were gonna last.
Yeah.
I saw it from a mile away. This relationship was not going to make it.
And us with robust personalities, they always easy to paint you.
And the way when he goes to the cage, he's hugging everyone and whatever, all these things. That's
So I try to stay away from certain spaces, entertain certain people, especially people with arterial motives. I just, I'm grounded, man. I'm enjoying life. I'm grounded.
Easy, man. Easy. Look, I want us to round up the podcast with two things. One, the lethal match that you guys saw, and sometimes I see you guys organize events and whatever.
Yeah.
Always looks lit. There was the last one I was supposed to attend, but I think I was in the north with work, whatever, and I missed it. But yeah, hopefully the next one I'm gonna come through. But tell me a bit more about what the whole lethal is. Is it just sell merch and organize events, or what's the whole?
I think initially when we started, it was in medical school. I've always wanted to make streetwear and urban clothing and stuff like that. But it was also I was trying to look for hustles, so to merge both of them. And people are like, so many people are selling clothes. I didn't care. I was like, I'm selling lethal. I don't know what they're selling.
This shit is lethal out here.
Yeah, so we started it and it was small. We're not even making profit like that. We would buy the stuff, sell them at the cost price just to get as much merch as we can out there. And then towards the end, it became that thing that supported, me throughout med school, getting extra stuff. And, and some of the homies, people could come like, yo, Joe, can I have $500? Got the lethal. It became that thing for me, a source of income. And it became big because of what it represented, a certain power, resilience, force, and that's where we went into events. Events is just us basically just showing people appreciation, and
everything.
and moving so many units at how many times. So but the main thing is just mostly clothing, and we are about to relaunch again with new merch. We are aiming at a certain quality. We don't want just the same quality because we take pride in our quality. Yeah,
it needs to be lethal.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll have our brother John put the details on the video and whatever. So it stays. That's the beauty about YouTube. Yeah, it's not like TV where you do an interview and then it airs and then that's it. Gone, With YouTube, it's there forever unless we decide it should be deleted or whatever.
Yeah.
The last thing, you do public speaking. I see you at functions a lot. Whatever. How does that work? In what do you talk about? Is it your life story, or is it just you trying to inspire the youth and whatever? And if let's say I'm having an event with school kids and whatnot, and I want you to share your story with them, how do I reach out to you, and what's the arrangement there?
Well, I sort of didn't. I never really identified as a public speaker. I'm more just like a guy that goes and talk about relatable content, And I think I was identified. I think the first people always felt like, because I'm an open book. I live my truth and I live it with with pride.
Yep.
I live my truth, and everyone else is comfortable, obviously living a well-dressed lie, because even me coming here speaking about my things, there are certain people that will look like, man, how can you do that and whatever.
Yeah.
But they are projecting. No one is living their truth. So me living my truth has been able to put me in a position for people to identify me and like, okay, maybe we want to know this. Maybe this guy can tell us about this. So most of the stuff that I do is like health education, education on addiction and drugs, and talking about change and adversity and self betterment and things like that. It's not judging anyone or sort of cornering anyone. It's more, I don't want anyone to have gone through what I've gone through. So rather, let me just tell you, and then you decide. Yeah. And then for, I think I did do a talk on drugs for one school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, basically, you reach out to me.
Okay.
I don't charge or anything, because for me, it's like, okay, I've had this privilege to educate the next and change the next person's life.
Sure.
So you can reach out to me on if you have my number, my email, my Instagram. I will always show up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Salute, man. Look, thank you very much for making the time. This was very insightful. It was deep on so many levels that I think I don't wanna shit on any other episode we've had, but the deepest conversations I've ever said and had with anyone on this podcast, because of like the amount of things you shared, and the amount of honesty and how genuine you were. I mean, really speaking from the core of your heart.
Yeah.
And I hope, like, someone really watches this and also takes a self-reflection from it. And yeah, I mean, I wish you nothing but the best with your career. And keep doing the good work you're doing and saving lives. And we appreciate you. I feel like the world, our country needs more brothers like you. And thank you very much for coming on the No Cap podcast, man.
Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it. Let's live our truths.
That's it, man. That's it, man. That's been it. No Cap podcast. We are out. Don't forget to leave a like. Please comment. We want comments. Share and subscribe to the No Cap podcast on our YouTube channel. We are out.
This one is
Yay!
comments.
That was dope. That was